Yes, yes. What's going on, guys? My name is Eddie Tranzcendent, and I would like to welcome you to the Transcendent Outlook podcast. Specifically, this is the Lion Soundtrack series, and this is a series where I like to interview people, organizations, or businesses, Latinos who are doing great things in the city of Bridgeport and beyond. Tonight, I'm going to be speaking to Oscar Bonilla, and the idea here is that this is going to be a little different, right? Because usually I'm more focused on people who are doing things in the community, right? In terms of like nonprofit organizations or businesses in the community. But the young man who I'll be talking to tonight is not someone who's necessarily involved in the community in that sense. But the things that he's doing is definitely highlighting our community, and it's definitely giving us the opportunity to share the story of a person who comes from our community and who can show us that, hey, look, if he could do the things that he's doing, then you could do them too, right? And so I'm super excited for that. But before I get too deep into who he is and his story, I want to let him introduce himself. So we're gonna go ahead and bring up Oscar. What's going on, Oscar?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. So let me ask you: do you rather Oscar or do you rather Oscar? The,
What
the,
you
it, 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 it don't matter to you?
feeling? If you feeling like you want to talk to me in English, then go.
Because some people whose names is a Spanish in a Hispanic name, they're like, nah, don't I don't want to, I don't like for me, my name is Edward, right? But my mom is like, no, tú te llama Edward, right? So I'm like, all right. So depending on who I'm talking to, I got to make sure I fix that. And some people are real, like the real kind of like strict on how they want people to call them.
Yeah, I don't mind.
That's what's up, man. So let's go ahead and stay around on that route. In terms of you're Latino, obviously. Were you born in the U.S. or you were born elsewhere?
I was born in New York. I
Oh,
was
you
born.
were.
I was born and raised in New York.
Oh, okay, all right. And your parents are from where?
Well, my father's Puerto Rican, my mother's Honduran.
Okay, all right. And so they did they meet in New York?
Yeah, they did.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So born in New York. wha- Since they're both from their respective countries, was Spanish big in your house or was it more English?
No, it's only Spanish.
How do you what you say?
The English was learned outside of the house.
Okay. So did they speak English or no?
Yeah, they mostly Spanish, but they do speak English.
Okay,
They
that's what's up. That's what's up. No, that's something that comes up a lot, man, because like, the past our parents and the generations before that, as they came to the country, obviously they knew more Spanish, so they taught us Spanish. But now, as we're learning English and we're raising our kids, we're not really doing that much of teaching them Spanish. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I mean, my daughter talks English only, but when they talk to her in Spanish, she defends herself too. So
Okay. So she definitely picked it up.
yeah.
And so how did you end up in Connecticut then?
Well, my mother and my dad, they bought a house back in '06, I believe. Yeah, six por ahí. And they wanted a different life for my little brother. They didn't want him to
Yeah.
stay like I did. So they wanted to bring him over here.
Okay. And you said that was in '06,
Yeah, about 2006 por ahí.
and they bought it here in Bridgeport, or
I was here in Bridgeport.
that's okay. That's and how old were you around that time?
17 por ahí. 16.
Oh, so that must have been huge for you then,
It was. Yeah.
because you're leaving like your friends, your people who you grew up with, whatever school.
It was hard. I came over here to high school. Mid
Say it again.
in middle of the year in high school, so it was tough.
Yeah, that's definitely that's got to be super tough, man. I could only imagine that's like what, junior year, senior year.
It was I came technically it was supposed to be sophomore year, but
Yeah.
I got held back. So
No, I get that, man. That's crazy. Well, you know what? Before we even let's not get too deep, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Let the people know. For folks who may be watching or listening, who you are. Just tell them a little bit about yourself. I gotta fix my chair.
oh. I'm Oscar Bonilla. I'm a professional right out of New Haven, Connecticut. I've been there. I came. I been pro since for about 10 years, and my family is real small. Just me, my dad, my mom, and my daughter. I full time, 16, and but it.
Nah, listen, you say that's about it, man, but that's a lot, and that's it's amazing, and we're gonna get to that, man. But what do you call it? So born and raised in New York. What part of New York?
Yonkers.
Yonkers, New York. So I'm assuming from what you're telling me, reading between the lines, that you was hanging out, and your parents was like, "All right, we're not doing this no more. We're moving."
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was. They were. I was leading towards the wrong way, so they were just like, "No, we gotta take your little brother out of here." So
Yeah.
different life, you know.
And how much younger was your little brother from you?
11 years.
Oh, damn, super little brother.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And that's important, man, because obviously he probably saw you as a role model, right? Because you were so much older, so he's probably trying to be whatever you were doing. He's probably trying to do as well. Yeah. That's just, now. Did you start boxing here or in New York?
I started boxing in New York
And
since
how did that come about?
that was hard too to come over here, start all over, look for like, the right gym, the right trainer. You know,
Yeah.
then it was hard. It wasn't easy.
How
My
how how'd, how'd you get into boxing?
my dad, my dad and my dad's brother. Not really
So
my dad's brother.
they're boxers or they're
They boxed when they was younger. I mean,
yeah.
like every Puerto Rican has that past. Like I've met older Puerto Rican guys, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I used to box when I was younger." That's normal.
Yeah. No, it is, man. In Puerto Rico, we love our boxing, man. I mean, for me, I'm more, I watch it. I'm not really a fighter. But Puerto Ricans definitely love their boxing. And so, at what age do you start boxing?
I was about 9, por ahí.
Okay. And is that I'm not too familiar with in terms of like how young you can start. Is that fairly young or is that a little older already?
That's pretty young. I mean, there's I know people that started when they were 6, when they were.
Yeah.
It's pretty young though. 9 years old is young. But I didn't really like it at first. I didn't want to get beat up.
Okay.
So but I mean, it just grew on to me. So I love it. Now I don't just do it because I just do it because it's a part of me now. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna do it because I need to do it because I'm a professional boxer and I get paid to do it. No, I
Yeah.
need to do it. I do it because I love it. That's
Yeah.
I don't box because I'm trying to get a paycheck. That's
Yeah.
what I do. Yeah, I do it because I love it. It's a part of my life, and
What
it.
when did you start to realize, like, I mean, when did it turn from like, I'm just doing it, it's fun, my dad is supporting me, obviously my uncle, whatever, this is a lot of fun, I'm getting attention for it. When did it go from that to like, man, I love this, like I love this?
Well, I want to say when I went pro was when,
Okay.
yeah, this is my passion. I love it. As an amateur, I mean, I've always liked it. It wasn't like my cup of tea, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's like I love it. Like I need to do it. Like
Yeah.
even if I don't have a fight coming up, like I go to the gym and I'm training, and it's just a part of me.
Yeah.
I feel like when I
And
for a while, like my body craves it. You know,
so how old were you when you went from amateur to pro?
I went pro at 20.
Okay, and that's about the age when people go pro, or do some people go? Because I feel like I think people go younger.
They go younger. Now there's people going pro at 16, 17. So
Is that beneficial? Like, do you think that's a good idea to go pro that young?
I mean, me older now, I feel like it's good because your career is you can retire young. Like you don't gotta keep fighting till you're in your mid 30s or 40s. If you start young, you can retire young.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, it's beneficial, but at the same time, no, it's got its ups and downs. It's good and it's bad.
Yeah, so pretty much every situation is kind of different. So depending on your situation and your circumstances, you may want to go earlier or later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no, that makes a lot of sense. And so what do you call it? So you're in New York, whatever you're doing your thing. Your parents buy a house in Connecticut. You come to Connecticut. Uh, the transition, I'm sure, was difficult. In terms of like friends, people who you grew up with, people at school, girlfriends, like the whole mix, right? But then also the boxing. So, were you able to come into Connecticut and find like a boxing home right away, or did that take some time?
it took me about it took me about 2 months.
Oh, damn, that's quick.
Yeah, it took me about 2 months. I went from gym to gym here in Bridgeport. I only went to like two gyms, and
Yeah,
it wasn't for me. I love the people, like, that were really
yeah,
respecting me. I respected them. It was cool, but it wasn't just. I didn't feel right, And
yeah.
my uncle knew my trainer back when they was young. They used to fight together, and my dad too. They used to all train in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Just it was a coincidence that he was here too in Connecticut. So I didn't know exactly how far it was. He was in. I started training in
Yeah.
him. So I used to get out every day from school, and my mom used to drop me off every single
Okay.
day. Used to drive to Hamden from Bridgeport every single day, Monday through Friday. She did
Yeah.
that for a while, for like maybe a year. Then I was driving, but I was a knucklehead, so
Yeah.
in a way, when I was young,
Mm,
and kept driving me up there, and it was a part. Like I said, it became part of my life. That
yeah.
commute to New Haven every day is just a part of my life.
Now, in terms of your parents, man, at this point, as a grown man now, I'm sure you talk to them, and the conversation is different. But as you were growing up, and they were, obviously supporting you in your boxing, were they supporting you, thinking, man, I hope my son turns pro, or was it more like, I want my son to stay out of trouble, so I want to keep him focused on boxing?
Well, my mother's never been a fan. She,
Okay,
most women are really like intimidated a little bit. My
yeah,
That was my dad's dream was that. So
yeah,
I feel like I somewhat fulfilled his dream a little bit.
yeah,
And then, and my brother used to box too. He was a
yeah,
really good amateur fighter.
yeah,
So I just, yeah. Now my mom is just now is just normal to her. To have
yeah.
kids as fighters. Now it's just okay. My son's
Yeah, no, no, that's what's up. And I only ask, man, because sometimes as you're coming up and you're doing things and you're getting support from your parents, it's always important to understand like where that support is coming from, right? If that support is coming from like a place of like, this is what I want you to do, or if it's coming from, hey, I want you to just stay out of trouble and do this, right? Because then it kind of helps us understand, okay, what it is that we're doing, and if it really is something that we want to do, or it's something that we're doing because our parents want us to do it. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of kids, they might kind of like they might fight with that, fight with the, I'm doing it because my mom and my dad want me to, but I don't really like it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Well, I mean, they did keep me out of the streets. Like, I mean, I did. I was out there for a while, but I never smoked. I never drunk, so it kept me out of that, and it taught me a lot. Boxing taught me a lot, and it just kept.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because when you say, like I was chilling, we were hanging out, but I didn't do, drugs, or I didn't drink or whatever. And that's interesting because that means that you, even though you were hanging out and whatever, maybe you were hanging out with the wrong crowds or whatever, you always thought like, yo, I gotta stay healthy. Like I'm hanging out or whatever, but I need to stay in good, in good health, and my body needs to stay good because I need to do what I gotta do. Like, you know what I mean?
And that's a fact. Like, I used to hang out. I used to go to clubs, bars, everything, and people can say it like, no, I don't drink. Like, I doesn't drink.
Yeah, yeah,
Go to the bar because I felt like somebody might see me and say, "Oh, I seen him at the bar." Mind you, I wasn't even drinking, but I just don't want to. Like I'm in the same place, but I don't
yeah.
want at the bar. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
I not. It's not me.
No. It makes it makes a lot of sense. And when you talk about like when you talked about coming here, you said for about 2 months you was looking around, going to a few different gyms. What were you looking for? Like, was there a specific training style or a specific atmosphere? Were you just looking for a connection? Like, what were you looking for in these gyms?
More like a connection type of thing because I only had one trainer in New York, the guy who
Okay.
taught me basically, the basics, and I had a couple of amateur fights in New York, so I had somewhat experience. Or I thought I did, and then I came over here, and when I met my trainer now, Luis Rosa, a whole bunch of years later, um,
Yeah.
still my trainer. It was just it became, I don't know. He's like more like another father to me, So
Yeah.
connection. So
No,
I
definitely.
need that, you know.
No, of course not. It's definitely important to feel like like the culture of wherever you go. Make sure that it's something that you can go to because you're gonna be going there often, and so it's important. And that's why I asked. Now you've brought up a couple times here and there about your brother, like the fact that obviously he's your younger brother, and a lot of the thought was um the example you were setting for him and whatnot, and the fact that he was a boxer as well, right? And I remember I've never watched you box, but many years ago, when I used to DJ and I had a rental business, I used to do a lot of work with Ortiz Boxing Gym, and so at the time I had the privilege to watch your brother, and he was at the time he was a kid, um, but to see him in there and to see what do you call it? To see the skill that in which he boxed with, but also his charisma was like crazy. Like that combination was crazy because it's like you love to see him, but then you also love to talk to him afterwards because he just had this outgoing personality, right? And so when we talk about that, how much of that um inspired you, right? Because like, we always talk about how the people older than us inspire you, but sometimes the people who are younger than us and coming after us, they inspire us as well.
It always kept me hungry. I always used to mess with him, and like someone like play around with him, and I used to tell him that as long as I'm in the sport, he would forever be my little brother. Not just little as in like height, younger. I'm saying like little as in everything. I used to play around with him like that. He was My brother was really like, I want to say he. I always told him that he was gonna be world champion in his mid 20s.
Yeah,
I saw it. Everybody saw it. He had so much talent. He had the heart. He had,
yeah,
it was just natural to him. Me, see me, I was made a boxer,
yeah,
born into boxing. You know, because I didn't see my dad boxing when I was young. I didn't see that. I didn't see nobody boxing around me. I didn't see no uncles, no cousins, none of that. I didn't see that. I wasn't brought around that. Then when they brought me for the first time, that's why I probably didn't like it. I was just like, nah, this is not for me. So I kind of like, I wasn't too happy. I did it, but it
yeah,
was my brother used to go to my fights in my mother's belly. When I was in New York fighting amateur, little as hell, he
yeah,
was belly. My mother was at my fight, you know, pregnant. So my brother was born into it. He was gonna be a star. He was a
yeah,
star. He was gonna
yeah.
be different.
No, no, more that, and I agree, man. I mean, at least from what I saw, again, I did a lot of Ortiz Boxing Gym events where he was, and I was able to see a lot of those bouts that he had, and so I did see a lot of what you're talking about. What would you staying in that lane real quick? What would you say was his biggest like attribute, like his biggest asset? What was it? The skill? Was it the charisma? What was it?
I feel it was. I mean, he was skillful. Charisma was there. It was him. I just
Yeah.
that's it. He was he had a little bit of everything.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
He was a pretty boy. He was, not in a bad way. Just he
No.
was,
No.
um he could fight
Yeah.
Spanish and English. he was good. He had it
No,
all.
of course. No, most definitely, most definitely. Now, I've been, you and I, we've been knowing each other for a while. Not like best friends or nothing like that, but I see you, you see me. Um, I've been watching you, and obviously, you know, I saw I witnessed from afar because I'm always looking because of what I do and whatnot. I saw from afar. I saw the transition. I saw kind of like the some of those stages of grief that you kind of went through. In the past few years or whatever. And then I saw kind of like the re coming out of Oscar, or almost like it was like a shift that I saw where it was like you were there, then you were kind of going through your process, which we all have to go through, and then all of a sudden you were like like in our faces again, right? And so, talk to me a little bit about that process that you kind of went to kind of get you to where you are today.
Well, I always told my mom that. Well, my brother used to always promise my mother that he was gonna be a world champion and he was gonna take care of her, and
Yeah,
he was really attached to my mother. I'm more of my dad. He's more of my mom.
yeah,
I I I lost everything at some point in my life while he was still here, and I went away for a while, and that just transformed me. That changed me. I said this is not for me. So when I came home, um, he was already like, you know, face full of hair, and I was like, What happened? Like, kid just grew up out of nowhere." And it's crazy because it really did happen like that. Like when I went in, he was still looking like a baby. I came home, he was looking like a grown ass man. I was like, "What the hell?" So it's just it. I don't know. I I feel like I did the right thing, and then I went through. We all went through something real bad in my family, and then I feel like now is more like it's deeper now. Like I feel like it's not just for me. Now it's not just, oh, let me do this because I love it. Now is, "No, I gotta do this because I gotta live up to what he wanted. You know,
yeah.
I keep his name alive."
No, of course, of course. And I feel like you're doing just that, man. Because like I said, you went through your process, but then now like you're like in our faces, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like you're out there, you're doing what you're doing, you're representing for yourself, and for your family, and so I think that's super commendable, and it's great to see um someone to come out of that and to take something great out of it, because sometimes, man, we get stuck in there, and we just don't know how to get out. And I feel like boxing was kind of like your ticket out of. I mean, I'm sure to a certain extent you're still in there, but boxing was your way to kind of get out of it. You know what I mean?
No, no, of course, and it is, and and my father's situation is a little bit harder because my dad was always there with my brother
Hmm.
as he was, when he would train, when he would fight. So my dad didn't go to the he didn't even want to go to a fight after
Yeah.
it happened. He just didn't want to be around that, and it's understandable. He was there all the time with him.
Hmm.
Yes, he does have another son, which is me. So he's like, let me just be there, and I feel like it kind of helped them too. It helped all of us because
Yeah.
when I my first fight after everything happened, uh, about maybe 5 months after, 4 or 5 months after, I was in the ring right after, like a couple of months after it happened. I was back in the ring, and I dedicated that fight and every fight to him. Now I don't just now when I come out, it's not just me. Now
Yeah.
I big ass picture of him. So every single fight that I have a different picture of my brother.
Mm.
I feel like he was like, and not just me, but everybody says it. Like he was there, you know. So it's funny because when I talk to my promoter, sometimes he's like, "Yo, Oscar, you could beat this guy," and I'm like, "I'm sure I can." And he's like, "Bro, you could beat him. Like it's you and your brother. Like it's two against one. Like come on, who's gonna beat you?" And I'm like, "You're right."
No, I love that, man. I love that.
And like maybe in training camp, like when I'm training, I go, we all do. We go through ups and downs, and
Yeah.
we spar and we look like shit. And sometimes we spar and we look really good. And I feel like I'm the type of when I'm in training camp, I have my days. I have good days and bad days, but mostly like you don't see the best out of me till fight night. Then when it's fight night, you see a whole different me.
Yeah,
So that's just me. And my trainer even tells me that he brought that up a couple of times. He's like, Oscar's, he looks somewhat okay, but then when it's fight night, he looks like a different person. I agree. I feel like it's different, but I feel like every fight is different.
yeah,
Should be, every fight should be. You should be better. And now, when I was getting ready for this last fight that I was supposed to have that fell off, that like everything switched up. Like it's not
yeah,
that same Oscar everybody was. I like to bang. I like to fight. I really like to fight. I do.
yeah,
I really like to fight. Like if you hit me, you hit me because I want to hit you back.
yeah.
I'm not that like moving around and make you miss. And I was that at some point when I was an amateur. A pro, I'm more of a banger. Like I like to fight. But
Eh,
now I switched it up a little bit. And I'm not gonna talk much about it. I'm just gonna have people look at it. Watch
No,
it.
no, of course, of course, of course.
They're gonna see the
No,
difference.
yeah, and I'm assuming too. Every fight is different, also depending on who your opponent is, right? So obviously, your style or the game plan behind every fight is gonna be different depending on who your opponent is, correct?
Definitely. And then you're training a certain type of way and you're doing a certain thing in training camp, and then when fight night comes, depending on your opponent, you gotta
Yeah.
so whatever you did, yeah, it's gonna benefit you, but you gotta switch it up, do it a different way.
And so how long does it take a professional boxer like yourself to get ready for a particular opponent? Like is there like 5 months, 6 months? Is there a particular time frame?
Well, I mean, we sometimes we get like a 2 month notice, 3 month notice, like
Okay.
and it's like 2 months from now, a month from now. So that's what we
Yeah.
at this point in the career when I'm not a 12 round fighter yet. I'm
Mm,
not, but that's the goal, right? To get there. But at this point, where we're at right now, we just gotta stay active. Stay in
mm.
my trainer used to always tell me that too when I was a little younger. He's like, "Oh, you got to be at the gym. You got to be." Because I used to like to be on the streets and not in the. Or I used to go to the party and then go to the gym and look like shit. But it was just all the process. I had to go through all that to be where I'm at today.
No, definitely, definitely. Now we talked a little bit about your parents and their support, and I've met your dad. I've talked to your dad. Your dad, I don't think I've ever met your mom, but I met your dad, and he's a trip. Your dad's a trip, man. He's a good dude, man. um, but in terms of like support, like the city, do you feel the support from the city? Do you feel the support from the community? Is that something that you really focus on and worry about, or not really? You kind of just like tunnel vision and just doing your thing.
Well, when I'm like getting ready, like I am now, I'm more of like to myself type of person, like tunnel vision. But I'm not gonna lie, like I don't feel the support from the city at all. Like
Got it.
I'm holding titles, and
Yeah,
we have Jacob, Morero and Ortiz boxing. Hell,
yeah,
he's gonna be another star, But right now, I'm the only one holding a title in the
yeah.
you know, which it's kind of like okay, where's my support at? Where's my people at? But
Hmm.
it's what it is. It doesn't matter. But
No, and the reason I asked you that, man, is because let me tell you something, man. When your brother, I'm going back to your brother again. When your brother was and again, I'm not super what do you call it, educated in boxing and whatever. And so you correct me if I'm wrong, but your brother at one point he was like top in the country in Golden Gloves or something to that extent.
Silver gloves, yeah,
Silver Gloves, right? And he was like number one in the country. I remember. And at the time, I was involved with the Puerto Rican parade, and so I was the vice president of the Puerto Rican parade. And I was like, and I was like, we gotta get Ortiz Boxing Gym. We gotta like really highlight them. We gotta highlight this kid. Like this kid is the beast. He's the best in the country, and we're not even talking about him. And he's Puerto Riqueño, they just like we are, whatever. And so at that time, I remember we made a kind of I kind of and I'm saying I because I really was the one behind it, really pushing it to get Carlos from Ortiz Boxing Gym. We got him some kind of some kind of an award, and we were able to get a table for the whole gym, and we were able to have your brother come in with his belts and whatnot, and really support it. For me, it was really important because I feel like, man, like we have these people in our city who look like us, who are doing great things, and we're not highlighting them. You know what I mean? And so I'm asking you these questions because as I'm talking to you the last couple of weeks, and we're getting ready for this interview, and you're telling me, oh, I'm this champion and I'm that champion, and then you send me a picture and you got all these belts, and I'm like, bro, how come? Why aren't we talking about this shit? Like, what's like what's really going on? And so I asked you that question because I'm like, yo, like what? And so I'm happy that you said that because I think it's important that we realize the people that we have here, and it shouldn't have to take for you to say something. They should be able to see it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And maybe like I don't want to, I don't want to offend nobody,
No,
or
no, no.
I don't want to talk bad about anybody, which I'm not. But maybe it's because I don't train out of Bridgeport, because I don't. You know,
Yeah,
I fight out of New Haven. Well, East Haven now. The gym is in East Haven, so
yeah,
maybe that. But I do live in Bridgeport. So,
yeah.
but I mean, it's like I said, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me, you know. But yeah.
No, I think I just for me, I think it's a missed opportunity. Oh, I'm sorry. What you said?
No, I'm saying, but yeah, I'm from the city, so
Yeah.
live here.
No, for me, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. You know what I mean? When we're talking about getting the kids off the street, when we're talking about inspiring, motivating kids to do better, and do that by showing them people who look like them, who came from where they came from, who grew up the way they grew up. I feel like it's a missed opportunity not to highlight you, especially to the youth, so we can show them like, look, you work hard, and this is what you can do, no matter where you come from. You know what I mean? And so I'm hoping that this interview and sharing some of this information afterwards could hopefully get people behind you and get people to really see the importance of not like not like being all over you, but just highlighting you because I feel like that could bring a lot of good for our youth.
No, of course. It's funny you brought that up because I had spoke to Anna about that, and I was like, Anna, like everything I've been through, like if they give me the opportunity to go to, like, speak to these kids, like all these wannabe gangsters, all these hard kids from high school that think that they have the whole world in their hands, like like I could be on their level, like I could get to their level and talk to them, like I feel like I could bring it out of them, like the good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know,
No,
but
no, no. No, I think you're right, bro. I think you're right. And when Anna told me about that, I was like, oh, I was hyped because I was like, all right, good, because I think this is good. And I think not only that, but also, the things you went through in your family, the things you went through with your brother, that you could really get a lot of good out of that too. You know what I mean? In terms of talking about that, man, and just talking about the importance of that, because sometimes, we get so wrapped up in our as a because when I was a young person, I was also out, I was, whatever, hanging out and whatnot. And sometimes we get so wrapped up in what we're doing that we don't realize, man, that there's people out there who care for us, and that our decision, the things that we do, could hurt them. You know what I mean? And so I think that's important to talk about.
yeah, you're right.
Most de- most definitely. All right, man. So let's talk about April 6th, man. You're gonna be up at the Mohegan Sun. And you have a bout up there. Are you defending your one of your belts, all of your belts? What's going on with that?
Not defending anything.
Okay.
I'm walking in with the belts and I'm walking out with the belts. Not defending any titles. It,
Okay,
it
okay,
was
okay,
like something that just appeared because I was scheduled to fight February 23rd and my fight fell off. So
okay.
I was in training camp for that fight. I was ready to go, and then for some reason my fight fell off, so I didn't have a fight. And then my manager just called me. He's like, "Oh, I got a fight for you in Mohegan." I was like, "Oh yeah, I want it." Like,
Yeah.
I've been training this whole time. Like, might as well take it. And he's like, "Yeah, and it's in Connecticut because I've been fighting, like, my last couple of fights. They all been in Massachusetts.
Mhm.
So hard for the people to to come support and travel. I understand that, but I was hoping that it being in Connecticut, and I just found out that Jacob is fighting the same card too. You know,
Yeah.
Bridgeport, we're gonna be fighting the same card. That's like that's dope. Like I'm
Nah, it's
open
super.
to supporting him and me. You know,
Yeah, so he just did something last weekend. He had a fight last weekend. And it looks like it was like a first round knockout or whatever. So I'm assuming because of that they put him out. You know what I mean? It was so quick. He didn't really do much.
he didn't do much. He didn't even sweat. So that's dope. That's awesome. Blessings to him. And he's doing the right thing because he picked himself up at the right time. He's still young.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy for him. I text him. I have a message that I sent him, and I'm pretty sure he still has it on his phone. Telling him, like, I love you, kid. Like, keep up the good work. Like, I'm proud of you, and I am. I truly am because that. I see like my brother and him as well because they used to, they were coming up together. You know,
Yeah.
fighting tournaments. So that's real. It makes me feel good to see that. He's way younger than me, so I feel like that there's there's no I don't need to feel any type of way. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Younger, I see him like I said, like a brother, and he's gonna be a star. He's already a star.
Yeah, no, that definitely no animosity at all, man. He's young, man. I was watching him too when I was doing those Ortiz Boxing Gym events. I was watching him as a young kid in there, just wowing the crowd. Um, and so for me, I'm excited to see him out. I'm excited to see him out doing his thing. Talking his shit, just like just the way that he is. He got his style, man, and I love it because it fits him. You know what I mean? And he backs it up.
That's what makes him. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's the way he is. That's it. And he's very loved. By well, as far as I know, the like Carlos loves him. Carlos
Yeah,
brothers love him. His father, like he's very loved. My father loved him.
yeah,
He's loved by many. So that's yeah. He has this because he's from here. So
yeah. No,
then
no, no. Of course.
here. So that's good.
No, of course.
You know?
No, no, of course. Y'all gonna be out there on the sixth. You really do your thing, but again, me too, man. I'm super excited. I'm happy to see him. Just seeing what he's able to turn and the way he's been able to turn everything around and put it back in his kind of way. I think it's good stuff. What do you call it? So anyway, so April 6th, man. How can people get a hold of tickets? How does that work?
Well, I have tickets, and
Okay.
we were just talking about him. I'm pretty sure Jacob got tickets and Carlos Ortiz Boxing. They should have.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got tickets, but I still have tickets. So whoever wants to purchase tickets, they can come through my shop. I'm on 347 Hollister Avenue, Bridgeport. That's my business. I have a tow business.
Okay.
I'm there most of the time. I'm there from 10:30 to 6:30 because 6:30 is time for me to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like I said, I have tickets, and then like I said, Jacob and Ortiz. I'm pretty sure they got tickets. If y'all don't get tickets from us, they can get them on Ticketmaster or go to the box office, Mohegan. But I feel like we should have the place filled up. I feel like
No.
out and support and watch. You know,
No, definitely, definitely. What now? What can we expect on the sixth, bro?
well, of course we're gonna shine. And another victory. However it comes, it doesn't matter. Knockout, no knockout. It doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
another victory, another W, and just keep it going. That's it.
Eh, what's in the future for you? Like what are you looking forward to? I mean, obviously we're looking forward to April 6th, but we already know that we're gonna get over that hump. So what are you looking forward to in the future?
Well, I'm in the works with my manager. He did mention for me to fight in Puerto Rico, and I was actually in the works of that for April 13th, but that fight fell off.
Mm.
April 6th appeared. I was like, "Yep, give me that one. Let's go." So hopefully, I'll be fighting in Puerto Rico after, and and we'll see. We'll take it from there. Yeah, I always said that I didn't want to keep fighting. Like I want to retire at like 35, 36. So it gives me some time. I still got some time. So
Is
see what
is
happens.
is Is there anybody is there any person or any group of people lining up to try to take the crown away or what?
What do you mean?
Like your belts. Anybody lining up to try to
Oh, but like opponents, like people that I
Yeah,
would
yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, 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 not you, but is there anybody out there who I mean, I'm not looking for a specific name, but are there people who are trying to come and take that from you or
pretty sure there is. Come on, like I'm holding, I'm holding tight. I'm pretty sure there's other fighters that want what you have. You know,
yeah.
and it's funny because the ones that really want it are the ones that are like pushed to the side. Like people don't put no mind to. They got bad.
Mhm.
Those are the ones that really want it. Those are the dangerous fighters. You know,
Yeah.
they don't got nothing to lose. They
Yeah, for real.
they want to take your head off. I respect, like, I respect every fighter. I don't bash no fighter. I don't like to talk about no fighter because I'm a fighter. So
Yeah.
I respect so I can be respected. There's still dumbasses that don't respect, so it is what it is. And I've had a couple of guys call me out, and they want to fight me, and they want my belts and this and that, and then I, it don't even matter to me. My last fight, I was supposed to fight this guy from Brazil, and he was calling me out. He's been calling me out. That same he actually fought, and he called me out after he fought and got his ass whooped. He was like, "I want to fight you next," and I'm like, like I don't put no money. I don't let it get to my head. Like I said, like I respect every fighter. I don't really bash no fighter. I mean, if you're trash, you're trash. But I don't gotta say it. Everybody else say it.
Yeah.
And if you're good, you're good. Same thing. Nobody gotta say it. It just stands out.
No, of course, of course. Now, before we get out of here, man, can I ask you to share some advice for the youth out there? Any particular anything on your mind in terms of some advice?
Well, I mean, of course, you know, the streets is a sign that there's a phase that we all go through. I feel like we all go through it, especially us guys. There's a phase that we go through where we wanna be more in the streets than doing what we gotta do. And I just feel like I don't it's hard to explain. I just feel like you just gotta be with the right people. I feel like if you're with it all depends on who surrounds you. That's the way it is. Who your surroundings are, and that's where it comes to. You know, be careful who you with. Be
Yeah,
careful if they're your friends now, but then who knows if when something does pop off, they're actually gonna be there for you. Because I've been in situations where like they'll be like, "Oh, this is my boy, my boy, my boy," and then I I think about my brother's situation. My boy, my boy, my boy. My boy picked him up at the house, and he got killed with his boy. So it's just something that I don't trust nobody. I don't have friends. I
yeah,
know a lot of people. A lot of people know me, but I just don't feel like the youth coming up now. I feel like they should just be to yourselves. Like all that, my boy this, my boy that, or mm-mm. I don't
yeah.
can't trust nobody. You know.
No, I feel you. I think that doesn't just go for the youth. I think it goes for everybody. I think being aware of who's around you, I think it's very important. Even as an adult, I mean, just the people who are around you help you become who you are, right? And so you can tell a lot about who the person is by seeing who's around that person. So that's super important. Um,
The reason why I say for the youth because you can manipulate someone younger than someone older. Faster. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like you can have a 16, 17-year-old believe bullshit. You tell a grown man sign, they're gonna be like, you full of shit. You know?
yeah, yeah,
You could probably manipulate them too, but it takes a little bit longer, a little bit more.
yeah, yeah.
I just
I don't. Yeah,
just
I don't know. I don't know if you know Eric Torres, but Eric Torres says it would be great to get him to come through and encourage our basic students with Elevate. He's got a message. So do you know Eric or no?
maybe if I see him, I'm not good with names.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, we could definitely connect you and Eric, man. Eric, he has a lot of great things happening with the youth, in the high schools in Bridgeport. And he's always looking for speakers and whatnot to come and talk to the kids or whatever. So maybe that'll be your step to be able to get in there and talk to some of these kids.
And I would like I said, like I was telling you that I spoke to Anna about it. Like
Yeah,
I want to help. I want to help them out. You know, because I don't
yeah,
want. See, I hold on. Uh, you like I was, I now I have a broken home now. You know, but all that could have been prevented if my brother would have listened to my dad's advice or my advice. Because that's the night that my brother left. I got to the house and he was walking out, and I asked him, "Where you going?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm going with my boy." And I'm like, "Where?" And he's like, "Oh, it's his birthday tomorrow. We're gonna go hang out." I was like, "Where's your girl?" And he's like, "Oh, she's in the house." I'm like, "You serious, nigga? You're gonna go chill with this nigga instead of staying with your girl? Like, what the hell is your problem?" So the last words that I told him was, "What the hell is your problem? Like, you stupid."
yeah.
You know, all because he wanted to hang out, and everything happens for a reason. It, that's how it was meant to happen, but I feel like it could have been prevented. So
No,
would I would love to help.
no, most definitely. I'm definitely gonna connect you with Eric, man. Again, he's a good dude. I just interviewed him a couple of weeks ago. He's a good dude. He's from Bridgeport himself, born and raised in Bridgeport. And he has some great things happening, man. I think you guys could, get together, click or whatever, and do some good work, man. So I'm definitely gonna hook you up. And then Allison Allison Ruiz asks, "What has been your biggest challenge as a boxer?"
Um, my biggest challenge as a boxer, I feel like most boxers, um, running, running is it's like something you need to do as a fighter, and I feel like, and I can say, from experience, most fighters don't like running.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. There's fighters that do. There's a lot of people that I know that love to run, but maybe it's because I've been doing it for so long. So I feel like that was always a challenge, but now
yeah.
I need to do it. It's like, okay, it's like a job. So I gotta run. Like when we're finished with this interview, that's what I'm gonna do. I got. I'm gonna try to run. So but yeah, I feel like that has to be the biggest challenge, and I feel like any other fighter, maybe 9 out of 10 will probably say the same thing, running.
All right, man. Listen, man, I'm about to let you go run. But before I do so, man, I got some questions that I ask everybody. It's kind of just a little bit of fun that we can have real quick, so people can know a little bit about Oscar behind the scenes or whatever. So this has nothing to do with boxing. It has nothing to do with family. It's just some quick little fun questions, right? So the first question is, what's your favorite dish like to eat?
You're asking me that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, because you said I got some questions for people. So
No, 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 no. I asked all my everybody who I interview. I asked them these questions.
my favorite dish.
Yeah.
Um, no, I do. So the Spanish is coming out now. So arroz blanco, encebollado with con habichuela guisa.
Yo, that
That's my
that just
favorite. It's funny because my trainer made me that. He needs to make it again because it was really good. This if he's not when he does watch it, eat that dish again.
And what's your favorite genre of music?
Music, I'm not really picky with music. I listen to a lot of worship music.
Okay.
Like every night. Every night I you know me and my girl have an Alexa in the room, and I'm like turn the music on, and she's like, Alexa, play worship, play worship music. I do. Even if I don't go to a church, that doesn't mean I don't have a connection with God, because that's what we did.
No, of course, of course. And then the last question it could be a worship song or whatever, but what song is on repeat right now? Like, what song can you listen to right now back to back?
Mm, damn, you got me.
To just it don't matter right now.
I can't say. I like too many of them.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. I only ask because sometimes people have like they just like, oh, this is one song right now that just can't get out of my head, man. I keep thinking about it.
I have one in my head. It just doesn't want. So maybe next time name of it. But I do have one in my head. I'm singing it in my head right now, but I don't remember the name.
Nah, but listen, man, thank you so much for taking this time out, man. I really appreciate it. I feel like you got a story that more people need to hear about. But I also feel like we need to highlight people like you, man, people who are doing great things. And that's why I got this platform, is because I want to be able to highlight people who are doing great things, but people are not really seeing them, right? And so I'm hoping that with this interview, people can see you, hear about you if they're listening on to the podcast right now, watch you if they're watching on YouTube, and really get to know a person who comes from where they come from and who's doing great things, man. So again, man, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for having.
Uh, I really I'm looking forward to the six. I'm sure you and and Lefty and anybody else who's going up there from Bridgeport. I'm sure you're gonna do great up there.
Yeah, we are. I know Lefty's gonna do his thing. I know he is. So we gonna shine.
That's what's up, man. Is there anything else that you want to share before we get off?
I mean, not really. Just come support. That's it. April 6th. Come support. Watch us shine. That's it.
That's what's up. Yeah. So again, if you're watching this, if you're watching this podcast on YouTube and it's before April 6th and you're in the Connecticut area, please make sure you get your tickets and go up to the Mohegan Sun and check out the great card they have of fighters fighting up there on Saturday. If you're listening to the podcast, same thing. Go down to the description, and all the information will be down there. You'll be able to find it down there. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sorry. If you're watching on Facebook or Instagram right now, please make sure you send me a message if you want more information on how you can get tickets to this bout. And if you're involved with any kind of community organization, if you're involved in the community, if you're looking for folks to come out and talk to the youth, I think that this is a great candidate, a great person that you could reach out to, and he would gladly come out there and talk to the kids. So please, let's not let this opportunity go away, right? I feel like sometimes we're reaching out to the same people over and over and over, and we got people like Oscar who's sitting there with a great story that they can share and they can really help the youth. So if you're out there and you feel like this is someone who you want to bring to your organization, bring to your kids, bring to your youth, either reach out to him or reach out to me, and I'll make that connection for you guys. Again, Oscar, bro, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man, and I look forward to the W on the sixth.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, brother. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight to the conversation, man. Again, this is just another great individual right here in Bridgeport who's doing great things, and too often we don't highlight these people. And so what I want to do here is just highlight people who are just doing amazing things, and hope that that you guys not only see him, but you guys begin to follow his journey and begin to support his journey, because we could all use that. We could all use the extra follow, extra person to kind of follow a journey, and also the extra inspiration, right? I think that this is a story that we can all relate to. And so if you haven't done so already, please make sure you reach out and get tickets and go check them out on April 6th at the Mohegan Sun. Guys, thank you so much for your support, and don't forget, be transcendent.